I think Wimby sounds really stupid when he says, "Oh, we dominated the games," but you don't come up with wins. So on paper, you had leads, you had this, you had that, you had this. But if you don't come away with a win, how you dominating, bro?
Well, you
Losing
dominated
40
because you
to
thought y'all
me,
played well enough to win.
win,
But
and you
but
didn't.
problem with that is you don't close. It don't count. It don't count. It's at the end of the day, you don't know how to close. You can't close. It don't matter. You can say what you want to. Look at our percentage. We was up 29. It's when I saw the 29 game, they up, and I said, "You're gonna let them come back and beat you?" Nah. At that point, I knew it was over. I said, "Okay, they might get one," but I knew it was over because the Knicks were like, "You playing right into our hands. We gonna let y'all get excited early. You know, you play like I said. You celebrate before you get the trophy."
Welcome to a special edition of the squad. Of course, the Knicks win the NBA championship. I have a cigar. I'm gonna have some drinks. I'm gonna wait till Thursday for the parade to do that. But as predicted, I felt like the Knicks were gonna win, and they did. And me and Ice are gonna break down the series, and especially the last game. So, Ice, I'll go to you first, man. What you think, bro?
Well, I know I said I didn't think the Knicks were going to win, and I was not excited about that at all. But end of the day, you got to see things for what they are from the standpoint of I always thought on paper that the Knicks at times their roster didn't look as strong as some of the teams that they played before. But when you find out in any sport, particularly in professional sports, you can't be thinking all the time that the best talent always wins, right? The Knicks had, I think Mike Brown deserves a lot of credit
Definitely.
for coming in the way that he did, putting his team, using some of the same players together, right? OG Anunoby, the fact that he was healthy was a major part in this equation. And then understanding the roles that some of the lesser stars or guys coming off the bench could play. And everybody's talking about, we knew before the biggest thing that people had or issue with the prior coach is the factor that he didn't use the bench enough.
Right.
That clearly was not the case here. Mike Brown had guys like Robinson coming in playing quality minutes depending on the scenario, and I think that's the difference. I think when you saw the previous coach came in, he had a certain way that he coached no matter what the situation was, always going at the same way, maybe using only five, six guys and these crazy minutes. Where Mike Brown was like, what's the scenario? Where are we at? What do we need to do? Who needs to play? Do we need more defense? Do we need more what we would call more physical play? What do we need? And using it where you don't need your star until maybe the last closeout game to drop 45. We're going to do this another way. And that way, if we do need 45 from our star, the last game, we can get it because he's well rested. He's able to play. He's not beat up. But I just think the main thing I'll say about this, and I'm gonna let you have it because this is your squad. And it's been a long time waiting, way back since Willis Reed and whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm gonna say this: I think that the New York Knicks with Mike Brown, they knew they had the experience, they had the wherewithal, they had the oomph, they had the toughness and the grittiness to beat San Antonio. And San Antonio, for as much as they thought, and you could tell from some of the comments that the players made afterwards, for as much as they thought they were all athletic and they played well at times and could have played well enough to win, where they were fooling themselves is at the end, they didn't know how to close. And I think the Knicks knew that if they bided their time and waited, sooner or later near the end, San Antonio was going to start to run out of gas. And coach is like, oh, well, we got them because when we beat them, I think they showed you when they lost game one at home. The Knicks was like, oh, they act like they don't even want this. So, and the Knicks played hard. Like again, it wasn't the prettiest series. It was very physical, but the Knicks came in with the attitude. We don't care how big your center is. We don't care how fast you guys go. You're young, and sometimes when you're young, you think you're untouchable. And I think that was part of the issue in this series. And the Knicks did what they're supposed to do. They came in. They've been playing hard all postseason. It's not pretty at times. You see different things, but Mike Brown put together a foundation that worked and used their toughness, their grittiness, and never quit attitude to wear down a young team that thought they was going to coast because they beat the defending champions. They thought they was going to just automatically come in and get it, and we beat them. But what they found out was you ran into a rugged bunch of individuals that has a coach that saw the shortcomings. And last but not least, I think for as much as I like Coach Johnson for the Spurs, I think the experience of Mike Brown with his team pushed them over the hump because of the factor that there were at scenarios that Mike Brown outcoached them. And as it, when you look at it from the standpoint of as much as I thought I liked Fox, certain times you got to pull Fox. And Fox, at the same point, the only thing I'm really disappointed, like this will be my last point. The only thing that really disappointed me about Fox is you're a veteran. They brought you in to showcase and help them get over the hump. You've been in playoff position before. You've been there before. So you know what that's supposed to be like to show them during this moment, here's what you should do. The one game where the big comeback when they came back or whatever, the game where they were winning, Fox, they got to steal with like 10 seconds to go and they were up by one. And Fox gets the ball and he tries to score. Anybody that plays basketball, you got to be aware. And you're probably aware because they had called timeout. So you know how much time is left. Run the damn clock out. If you run the clock out, it's 2-2. Not saying the Knicks wouldn't still win, but the series is tied 2-2 because you tried to score on a layup and a steal when you're already up one. That's basketball 1-on-1, and he's a veteran. And then he says afterwards, Fox, that is, well, when you get that, you got to try to score. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You got to try to win.
Yeah.
And winning means knowing what it is. You take that ball. In fact, he should have went to the hole and faked and just ran around the other side of the court with the ball and ran the clock out. So that forces New York to foul. And then at that point, they don't have time to come down and get set up for a shot, right? They literally at that point, they are in emergency mode. But you didn't do that. The shot got blocked. They came down, did what they had to do. So there was so many things where at the very critical moments of games, the Spurs did not show any experience, any knowledge. They just seemed like at times they didn't know, they were not aware. And I lied. I'm saying one more thing. When you're winning a basketball game and you're up by 29 and you come down and you keep shooting 3 pointers and they're not going in, as a coach, you had to call timeout and go, this stuff is not working. Let's go back to something that works inside first because we're missing these shots. Because every shot that you miss is an opportunity for the Knicks to go down and bring the lead down, which they did. It just was not a well thought out basketball situation throughout the series for the Spurs. And again, I say this once and I'll say it for the 19th time. It is, and y'all may not like it, but I'm going to say it. It is the Tom Brady rule. One team may be better, one team may be on paper better, but if you act like you don't want to win, or you show that you're faulty in the way that you think and don't have the mindset to close and win, the Tom Brady rule is if you don't want it, I'll take it. And that's what the Knicks did. Not saying they could not win the other way, but the Spurs clearly showed near the end of the games they couldn't close the deal. And the Knicks took advantage of that. So Tom Brady 1-on-1. If you don't want it, I'll take it. Congratulations, Knicks.
Yeah. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about the Knicks. I think that the media really did a disservice to the San Antonio team by crowning them before they are deserving of that crown, especially Wemby. I felt that he's not humble enough, and I kept telling people there are stages to this. It's like you can't come off the lottery and then expect to win a NBA championship. The Knicks, this is 3 years in the process where they got knocked out in the second round, they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals the next time, and then they make it to the finals. And I said in a couple of shows back that I thought the Knicks had a good chance of winning a championship. And I wasn't just saying that as a Knick fan. I just wasn't. It was like the stars were aligned to do this. Even when they flicked the switch after the Atlanta series, I'm like, this team seems like a team of destiny because things just kept happening. And if it wasn't for Mush in the third game at Madison Square Garden, I think the Knicks should have really swept this series because he changed the whole vibe of what was happening in New York and what was happening to that and that with that team. But congratulations to the New York Knicks, Mike Brown. I have to give kudos to him. Me and Pop had talked about this during the series and before the series. Is that Pop said, "Hey, the most experienced team and the most experienced coach is going to win this series. It's going to be the difference in this series." And I'm talking to about a guy who doesn't really like the New York teams or the Knicks, and he saw that, and I saw that too. A lot of people haven't been talking about the Knicks bench, where they can play 11 deep and go to that bench and get some significant time to help the team win. And they were doing that throughout the whole series. What I kept seeing with San Antonio is like they're they got young talent on their team, but they seem to make bonehead decisions and bonehead plays at the most crucial times when you really didn't need it. And I saw that with OKC. They could have been sitting home with some of the mistakes they were making in that series towards the end of the game when the game was on the line. And I thought that that would be the Achilles heel for this particular team. They haven't paid their dues yet. I, people like to give San Antonio credit. I give them credit for showing up and making it to the finals, but I think it's distasteful, and I think they need to be some humbling needs to happen with Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs. There are only two people who went to shake hands after the game. That was the San Antonio coach and Luke Corlett, I think, or Cornett. Only two. The rest of them walked off the court, which tells me that you have some maturing to do. You have some maturing to do. I think when we got exposed in this series, he does not like to play in the paint. He's light in the ass, and he has no signature shot that if you need a shot from your big man, that he could get that shot for you. So instead of going to see the Monks, go see Olajuwon and go see Jabbar to work on those things, your footwork and in the paint, things of that sort. Because whatever's happening with Tim Duncan and David Robinson is not working. It's not working. The way you played the series. You're out there shooting threes and shooting mid range, and you're letting little guys on the other team push you out of the paint and push you where they want you and push you out of your spots. And if you're relying on Wemby to hit a three-pointer to help you win a game, I'll take those chances every time. I'll take those chances every time because he's not supposed to be out there shooting three-pointers. Maybe every 2-3 shots a game, maybe, but not 9 shots and all the shots they were making. In the 29-point game that the Knicks came back on, they kept shooting up threes. Last night, they kept shooting up threes. You're not making them. You're not making them. What are you doing? And so there was a lot of things in this series that got exposed. A lot of people try to crown Wemby as the next coming. Maybe they see LeBron leaving and they're, giving this guy the crown. He ain't ready yet. He is not ready. And until he gets some toughness and some strength and some muscle, he's not going to be ready. I don't think he's going to be a force. Everybody's trying to crown him. Here was your chance to do that. Emotionally, he's not ready. And physically, he's not ready, in my opinion. Nice.
No doubt, I can see that. One of the other last points I would make is the fact that you cannot expect one guy, 7'5" or 7'10", whatever, to take over that way. Because you, as the rest of the team, has to let him be the guy that he is. And granted, you have him out there shooting 9 threes, which I really don't get, but you put him in a position where he can make plays and do some things. And if you have a smaller guy on him, if you have somebody where they're double teaming him, there must be an opportunity. That means there's a mismatch somewhere else. And when you play basketball, you look for the open guy or the guy where the mismatch is so you can alleviate the pressure that's going on your superstar. But you just can't come in here and thinking that he's going to dominate because he got frustrated. It talked about where he almost got disqualified because he's being pushed around. The referees let him play, and you got to play along with the way the rest allows the physicality. So he's still learning because he doesn't know how to play with that physicality without showing his real anger, and his mental capacity was going a lot of ways too. Because you saw the way that he was doing different things and pushing people around, and he was this close to being actually suspended.
He should have been.
So he has a lot going for that. But as a coach, you have to be able to say, we're going to put you in the paint. This is your position. We don't need you hoisting up threes. We're not going to win that way. It'd be different. I'm not trying to be funny, but I am. If we're playing Chicago during the regular season, no one cares. This is the damn NBA Finals. It's NBA Finals, and they have a lot to learn. I think you might see that team change a little bit in regards to their roster and maybe the minutes. I guarantee you're going to see Dylan Harper getting more minutes
I
in
give
in,
credit to
in
him. He's a player. He's a
in
player.
the roles that he plays. When I saw him, growing up in Dayton, Ohio, he reminded me of his dad, just the way he went to work. And I think his dad was a major influence in regards to the way he approached the game. And granted, he never really may give him the credit because I don't know their relationship seems okay. But some of the moves that he made was looked like a young Ron Harper, especially around the basket. When you go here and they block you off and you doing reverses and getting close to the rim and shooting these quirky shots, that's Ron Harper's game. That was his game all day long. But kudos to the Knicks. They did what they had to do. Again, when you like I said, when you look on paper, you can say the same thing when they play Cleveland. You go look on paper, you go, oh, they're gonna have some problems. But sometimes when you believe you can win, and the team that's supposed to be better athletically and more skilled doesn't play to that highest level, you can win. You can win. And that's what they did. And kudos, I can't say this ever too much. Mike Brown, well deserved.
Yeah.
Mike Brown, well deserved. He's been on different teams as the assistant. And my brother informed me, I forgot who the coach was of the Lakers in the bubble. It was Mike Brown.
Yeah.
And I told my brother, the only people remember that is you and 8 other people in the whole world.
Because the
But
ball
Mike,
count. As far as I'm
yeah,
concerned, the ball.
yeah, but that's the point about the bubble. But Mike Brown wanted to win the bubble, and they let him go the next year.
Yeah.
But then again, he continues on. He was doing what he could in Sacramento, and now he's in New York, and he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
He did all what's considered the most impossible thing, the impossible dream, as they say, Frank Sinatra. But the point of it is, he got it done, and kudos to him because you had Tibbs before, and I think Mike Brown made a hell of a difference, and they believed in it, and they got it done. So,
Yeah.
end of the day, that's what it is.
One more thing about Wemby, and then I'm gonna go to the Knicks and Jalen Brown and what he was doing. And there's some apologies that he needs to get from a number of people. I came away from this particular series that Wemby is a dirty player because he intentionally tried to hurt a few players on the Knicks, kicking OG's knee. He made an attempt to do that and putting his foot down, looking down at where Jalen Bronson was going to land in that 3-pointer. It should have been a 4-point play. And so I see him being a dirty player. And I think that if he continues in that route and doesn't humble himself, he's never going to be that great player that the media is trying to get him into. I got to give shots out to Jalen Brunson. And I think I said Jalen Brown earlier, but Jalen Brunson. And the 45 points last night, becoming the MVP of the series. And Draymond Green, step up to the front. Stephen A. Clown, step up to the front. And Becky Hammond, step up to the front, as well as a whole host of you who said that this guy wouldn't amount to anything, the Knicks were making a mistake. This guy left $100 million on the table with Dallas because Dallas was kind of messing around with him. And people forget that a lot of people, the Knicks kind of saw when Dallas was playing and they lost Luka to injury, and Jalen Brunson went off. And Dallas was, I guess, trying to figure out, Ice, whether or not this was a insanity moment or this guy's pedigree. And they kept fumbling with him, and he said, "You know what? I'll take less. I'll go somewhere else." And he went to New York. And so some people are very surprised. I'm surprised too, because I thought he would play a more of a point guard role like he did at Villanova and other places. But he showed he can score. I think a lot of the problem is with people trying to guard him is he's left-handed. And usually when you're defending somebody, you want to push him to the left, but that's his strong suit, and he can go right. But he was this guy that was just, they didn't have no answers for. OG, they didn't have any answers for. And you saw Shimmick come in and do some things. You saw McBride come in and do some things. You saw Clarkson. There was one game where Clarkson was messing up, and I'm like, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. But he gave you some good moments. You had Mikal Bridges, who people wanted him out of here before the end of the season. And especially when they played Atlanta, they were down 2-1, and something clicked after they were down 2-1, and they went maybe 2 months without losing a game. About like 46 days without losing a game. And then they lost a game in the Garden. They got it back. And then I'm glad they won it in San Antonio. I'm really glad they won it in San Antonio, because I think it would be a totally national disaster than winning in Madison Square Garden and with all them crazy Knicks fans. And I'm one of them. But I'm a Knicks fan, but I ain't no one of them crazy Knicks fans. Your thoughts on all the stuff I just said? I was
Well, start with the Wemby situation. I can see where you might think he's a dirty player, but I think there was a lot of physicality going on, and he was dealing with a lot of pushing, and but that's the way that the game was being played. But he has to learn how to, at that size, not get so caught up in retaliation. And you gotta learn how to. I'm trying to say it lightly, but it's real. You gotta learn how to play dirty eloquently, right? You do can't be super emotional when everything's so wide open. Sometimes you gotta catch somebody with the elbow. You gotta catch them and just do it in a manner that nobody sees it or you don't bring attention to yourself. But he's gonna have to learn that. And granted, the media has told him how great he is, but again, like I said, you gotta let him earn something before you crown him. And he's still working and still learning from that standpoint. In regards to, as you mentioned about, you're glad they didn't win in New York and it would have been chaos and they would have had all this stuff. Only people care about this shit is people in New York. Nobody else care about this shit. And I'm not saying because
hey,
I'm a
hey,
hater.
hey, hey,
No, ain't no hate. I mean, oh, well, you didn't want it to happen in New York because everything would have stopped. So what? I live in Ohio. Nobody gives a fuck but the people in New York. It ain't hate. It's just straight up. Oh, you would have been this and been that. Okay, you all finally won 1969, whatever Willis Reed. Okay, that's cool.
hey.
45 years. Congratulations. But to go like, oh, the world would have stopped if they would have won it because everybody would have been crazy. The only people who've been worried about that is New York and the transit there. People in Ohio, Detroit, Chicago, Memphis, wherever, Orlando wouldn't have been like, "Ooh, what's going on in New York? Everything stopped because they." Nah, not even New Jersey. They wouldn't give them. Okay, but congratulations. It's not hate. It's like what you just said. Like that means the world to everybody. Nobody give them what happened over there.
Hey,
That's your problem. That's your problem. Like the whole world cares around the center of New York. And it's not hate, it's just really? Do you think it's that much going on and the city's so nice they made it twice? I'm not a hater. I'm just like, really? Yeah, the whole world is gonna stop because it's too much traffic going on because they won the final won the title. I'm not a hater, but I'm sure there's several other people watching this gonna go, Ice, you right. Congratulations, great. But nobody's gonna go, man, did you see how that parade stopped everything? I couldn't even get around. Only people that care are y'all. I don't know how I don't get. I'm glad you won. Congratulations. But oh, there's the whole world just stopped. Nothing can be moved in New York. Who cares? But you, because it affects you. It don't affect me. Congratulations. No, but really, get out of here.
Well, congratulations to the New York Knicks. It's been since I was 6 years old. Since they won the championship. 6 years old. So you do the math on how old I am.
That's a long ass
That's
time
a
ago.
long time, and it was a long time coming. And you just saw some of the I just saw some of the great things that were happening. A lot of people are seeing some of the crazy things that are happening in New York, but I was seeing some of the great things that were happening not only in New York, but other parts of the country where you have a lot of Knicks fans. And it was astonishing to me that anywhere that they went to go play, it was almost like they were playing in their home stadium because you had so many Knicks fans going to different parts of the country, going to Cleveland, going to Atlanta, going to Philly, and then going to San Antonio, that the teams were trying to bar Knicks fans from buying tickets. It was so devastating to them. So kudos to the coaching staff, kudos to the players, kudos to the past players, some of the great Knicks fans out there. Hopefully we can get another one. Hopefully this is not a one-time thing. But I'll say it for this team, they don't have to buy dinners or anything for a long, long time. I ain't gonna say forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. But you all will be the toast of the town for years and be remembered, and you're immortal now, winning in New York City, where it's called the Mecca of basketball, and it's not called that for on accident. This is where you have a lot of areas that don't have any other sports that they can count on, and you have a lot of asphalt and concrete. And so a lot of people play, and that's why they feel an affinity to the New York Knicks team, and that's why they take it so personal, and that's why they have a love for it because they feel like they're a part of it. So that explains some of the crazy and zaniness of some of the things that you'll see on social media. You got something to say
So
about that hate?
what
I'm joking.
hey, wow. One last thing. Swift. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all let her in the club. She said she been down since Amari Stoudemire.
No,
That's what she said.
no, no,
She said
no,
she been
no,
rooting for the
no,
Knicks since
no, no.
Taylor Swift, since Amari Stoudemire was on the Knicks. So y'all let her be a fan. Don't we're talking about. I didn't see you here last tweet. Who cares?
Nobody
Let Knicks
did.
fans be Knicks fans.
Yeah, yeah,
You
Nick.
you don't get it. You don't get a chance to just say, well, if I don't think you don't pass this criteria, you're not a Knicks fan. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Let the woman be in the club. And then of course when Mr. Sister McNutt said what she said, of course about the Swifties want to make it a race thing. No, it's not. Said I ain't seen you at the games. I didn't know you down with Amari Stoudemire. Stoudemire, let it go, man. For real, don't make everything racial, bruh. Now she's at the games. Okay, maybe she was busy. She's been on concert tour. She's about to get married. Doesn't mean she wasn't wearing her sweats and stuff around. You just ain't seen her. Although she did have some Cleveland stuff on. So that make you a little
Yeah,
suspect.
that's what I was gonna say. And
Look,
stay your little ass in Kansas City.
as my
Yeah, hey, stay your
as
little
my
ass in Kansas City.
as my friend Erica would say, that part.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that part. Stay in Kansas City. We don't need you here. Stay in Kansas City. Yeah.
Congratulations again. But you know what? Enjoy your parade. Nobody else cares.
Ooh. We'll see you next time. Later.